2, and we're live with Be Green. 30 seconds until.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Be Green with Amy. I'm Amy. After adopting a whole food plant-based lifestyle, my hubby Rick and I lost over 130 pounds. Now I coach others on their plant-based journey. Just Task Voice. Let's welcome our guest.
Angela Fischetti is a physical fitness, yoga instructor, and licensed massage therapist specializing in wellness for older adults. Please click like to help Be Green with Amy. Welcome, Angela Fischetti.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome, Angela.
Thank you so much, Amy. I am thrilled to return here and to be with you and the lovely little chat with your hubby just then. And of course, with the Green Warriors. Thank you for inviting me back. I appreciate it.
Oh, we always love to see you here, Angela.
Thank
and
you.
You've been here. You're just like a regular, and you just bring a lot of information and expertise in all things fitness. And you're our expert, and we always count on you. And I want to welcome back the Green Warriors today. And I wanted to ask you, Green Warrior, do you want to feel stronger and steadier and more confident in your body? Go ahead and type "I'm ready" in the chat, because Angela's going to really help us, because she's developed this like fall prevention workout, right? And there's a lot to it to prevent a fall. And some of the things that we've chatted about with Angela over the times that she's been with us is about osteoporosis too. And people who have osteoporosis or osteopenia, they're really afraid of falling, because that can really be a scary outcome for them. So the best thing to do is to work on our bodies so that we can help prevent that from happening while we're trying to heal from the osteoporosis and osteopenia. But even if you don't have those medical conditions, you still, I mean, nobody wants to fall, but we still want to be active.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. And as we know, those of us who have fallen and broken something, you still can remain active. It's just ways of negotiating.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So we like to start off with our game of true or false. So why don't we do that? And then we'll be getting into these exercises that you guys can join in on. So let's try our game.
It's time for True or False on Be Green with Amy Live. Answer true or false to Amy's questions in the comments below, and Amy will ask our guest for the expert answer.
All right. So now we're going to begin with our first question for our true or false. And that is, the risk of falling is increased when seniors work with weighted exercise balls. Okay. What do you think about that, Green Warrior? Type in your guess. And Angela, what do you say?
Absolutely false. It's an absolute also, by the way. And as I just revealed to Amy, I'm going to hold off on reading you folks my source, where I source this from, because if I read this off to you now, you're going to know the answers to the rest of the questions, and I don't want to do that. This is a game, after all.
Yes, it is. And it's so nice, because Angela develops these questions for us, and she doesn't just pull them out of the sky. She actually does a lot of research so that she can have those resources to back up what we're learning today. All right. So our next question is, true or false? Though working out with weighted exercise balls is great for the body, they don't do much to improve our balance. What do you think about that, Green Warrior? Go ahead, Angela.
Another absolute falsehood.
Yeah, and maybe not everybody is familiar with exercise balls. I know that I've seen them, but I haven't yet. I actually just ordered one, but I haven't yet had the opportunity to work out with them.
Yes, I have a theory about this, which is why I thought it could be a good format for the Green Warriors, because a lot of times empty nesters are left with all kinds of stuff from their older children, and then kind of hand-me-down stuff from the adult children. And maybe it's in the basement, or maybe it's in the garage. And I'm talking about things like basketballs, old basketballs, volleyballs, even old beach balls, right? You can turn these things into exercise equipment.
Mm.
If you're not into lifting weights, or maybe you don't even like the texture of a weight because maybe it's metal, or you don't like the rubberized and all of that, I'm telling you, you can turn these things into exercise equipment. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. And I do want to say something here.
Mm-hmm.
Any and all exercise improves balance. And I also want to add, before we get into our last question, you know, there's a big thing online about, well, teach me how to stand up without the use of my hands. But I'm going to tell you something. You can keep practicing that, and that's fine. That's great. But if you have no body strength, pray tell, how are you going to get up? So this particular routine, it's the bottom line. If you have no strength, you're not getting up. All right. But in this routine, what I've done is 8 out of 10 exercises are compound movements. So it takes that into consideration, meaning we're working multiple large muscles and multiple joints simultaneously.
Oh, wow. That's something that's very interesting.
It's very
Then,
important for them. And
oh yeah,
in
very
order
important to
to
know.
have fall prevention. And the other thing too, Amy,
Mm-hmm.
is about being able to get up from a fall. Sometimes
Oh,
you can't help it. Like
yes.
in my situation, I had 3 hand surgeons say to me, that would have happened to anybody. Your situation was quite unique in how I landed and whatever, all that stuff. And it just would have happened. So I got up. I like bounced up, and I was really PO'd.
Yeah, yeah. That's for sure, but you didn't let that stop you, and
No,
we have actually times when you came on and did classes with us with the cast on,
yep,
so
yep.
you're definitely inspiring. Okay, we have one more question, and then we're gonna be going into the workout, and that is, true or false, all exercise contributes to improving ADLs, which is activities of daily living for seniors. Okay. Green Worry, what do you think? And Angela?
True. Absolutely true. And the way that I design the work is always thinking about activities and daily living, how specific movements will help this or that. Could be grocery shopping. It could be getting up and down out of a chair. It could be reaching up to put something away into your high kitchen cabinet, or pulling something back down. It might be reaching out in front of you. Maybe you got to pull something open. Maybe you got to push something shut. All of this stuff is incorporated into my workouts. Now, I would like to source my resource here for you. And so I found a blog online. Now, normally I don't go to blogs, but this blog was with the YWCA of Greater Los Angeles. And the title of it was it's like they knew we were coming here, Amy. The benefits of ball exercises for seniors with a medicine ball. Now, it doesn't mean it has to be specifically a medicine ball, but they are referring to any type of exercise ball with weight. Me personally, you're going to see I prefer slam balls. They're called slam balls. And the reason is because they are textured, so you can get a better grip on them. And I'm going to give you it was published, this particular blog was published on February 5th, 2025. I don't have an author for you, so I think it was from the creator of the platform. And this is what they say. Medicine ball exercises incorporate dynamic movements, and this is really important, and I've incorporated that into the workout, that challenge and improve balance. Engaged in these exercises strengthens stabilizing muscles and enhances coordination, reducing the risk of falls and improving overall confidence in daily activities. Any exercise is going to contribute to a sense of self-worth and enhanced self-confidence. But today's exercises, I'm really hoping you try this out, folks, because this is really meant to help you improve not only your strength, the coordination, your fitness, your stability. All of this ties in with fall prevention.
Okay, well, I guess then we should get started.
Let's get on that fall prevention, Amy. Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much, everybody. So I don't know, Amy, I think this is 24th or 25th appearance, and it's just an absolute honor and delight for me. So we're going to help the Green Warriors help prevent falls for them for this going forward with today's broadcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the accessories we'll be using today will be a sticky yoga mat and obviously an assortment of weighted exercise balls. But also I'll be using, for those of us who might be brand new to exercise, or maybe brand new to strength training, or maybe you have some chronic health conditions. So this is a fit ball. And if you don't have a fit ball, you can also get a 9-inch Pilates ball or a smaller beach ball, folks. And this adds no resistance at all. But the holding of it does enhance form and your awareness of what you're doing with your exercises. Now, I'm going to go right into the medical disclaimers and precautionary measures, folks. Every exercise ball, even the big yellow one in the back, all right, and the mat, they're made out of latex. So if you have a latex allergy, I want you to look for non-latex or latex-free. Now, if you have any hand issues, holding a weighted ball could be out of the question. I mean, sometimes people have severe arthritis, or maybe Dupuytren's and or maybe even trigger finger. They just can't hold it. Well, what I want you folks to find out about is another little accessory that you folks can add would be wrist weights. So for those of you who can't hold a weighted ball, try strapping on, and I prefer adjustable wrist weights for you folks, and see if you can then hold the unweighted fit ball or 9-inch Pilates ball so that you can still have the experience of efforting with the work. Moving on here, if you have any chronic health condition at all, I'm going to advise you to please preview the video before participating and look for what you can do. However, if you're not sure, then I would invite the medical healthcare practitioner who knows your body best to preview the video as well to help you make an informed decision. Now, specific to this video, besides that latex allergy, if you have any back spine flexion issues, that means you've been told not to bend down to pick up something, especially something of weight. Now, this could be, but not exclusive to, osteoporosis of the spine, as well as the postural deviation known as hyperkyphosis, where we're a little hunched in appearance. Doing squats, doing deadlifts, which we are going to do today, could be contraindicated for you. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to take it to my wall. You're going to think I'm way the heck back there, but I'm really not. But this is what I would like you to do instead. It's called a wall sit. It's also known as a wall seat. So notice the back is supported. I'm totally upright. Now, for those of you with hyperkyphosis, you are going to wind up in a forward head projection, which is also known today as tech neck. Please take a towel, roll it up, and place it behind your head, and you're going to press the back of your head into that towel, keeping your chest elevated. Now, I'm going to place my hands to the inside of my high hip bones, and I'm going to line up from the high hip bone down to the knees, down to the ankles. And if you have issues with knee flexion, bending the knees, well, this is a great option for you because you can go as high or as low as your knees can handle. You can also choose to slide up and down the wall or hold statically. So right there, Amy, just going to the wall for those 3 chronic health concerns is easy. It's a nice option for everybody. Also, if you have if you're medicated or not for hypertension, have vertigo or GERD, I need you to avoid this position of your neck. Do not drop the head down into forward flexion, please. Please keep your chin head neutral. Now, conversely, for those of you who might have had a TIA, a transient ischemic attack, or a stroke, I need you to avoid this position of the neck. Hyperextension. Now, it does need to be stated that I am only mentioning these modifications, adjustments, alignments, etc., for people who have or have had these issues in the past. Folks, you're not going to bring on any one of these conditions simply by doing the exercises. If you have golfer's elbow, which is medial epicondylitis, or tennis elbow, lateral epicondylitis, you need to be careful of any and all bicep and tricep work. Now, I cannot offer you a modification because the symptoms are quite unique to each individual. Therefore, I'm going to ask you, please, to ask advice from your medical doctor whether or not doing bicep, tricep work is appropriate for you. Also, if you have feet issues, so plantar fasciitis, heel spurs, bunions, hammer toes, even Morton's neuroma, especially Morton's neuroma. Now, I'm going to be doing an exercise that's called a bent knee heel raise. Let's see, I want to make sure you could see that. The heels are coming up. So I'm coming up onto the balls of my feet. This is why I need you folks to double check as well. For some of you, it might be quite appropriate. You may not have an issue with that any longer. Now, along with knee issues, I want to bring up one more issue. So standing like this is called valgus knee. Now, what can happen is that some folks may have like a little bit of a what's called bow-legged appearance. So I'm going to be doing a narrow stance squat. And that means narrow. That means the feet together. This is a contraindication for valgus knee. I need you to stand with your feet hips width apart, which is right here, lining up to the inside of the high hip bone, as I showed you at the wall, down to the knees, down to the ankles. And actually in my field, this is referred to as an athletic ready stance. So let me just check my notes, make sure I covered all the issues. I know me, I'm going to pop out with more issues during the workout, but these are the issues I really wanted to call to your attention. And again, if you're not sure, you want to invite the medical healthcare practitioner who knows your body best to preview the video as well to help you make an informed decision. Now, a couple of gentle reminders, Amy, for everybody. Always feel free to stop and rest whenever you need to. However, I am not inviting you to quit. So you stop, take a couple of breaths, and return to the work, even if it's just one more repetition, because this is how you will get stronger. Also, do make sure you keep yourselves properly hydrated with water. Unless you've been advised not to drink a lot of water, perhaps it's kidney or bladder issues or whatever, please follow that medical advice. Now, Amy, I'd like to call to the attention of the Green Warriors my YouTube channel, and which is Boomerang Beyond Wellness. And the reason is because on that channel, I have a video that's both a warm up and a cool down. You can interchange the movements. And it's very important for those of us 55 years and above to warm up for a full 10 minutes prior to any workout. And also within the posts tab of my YouTube channel, it used to be called the community tab, you will find there a rating of perceived exertion chart. This is a 0 through 10 subjective scale, and it's an excellent tool to gauge your sense of effort. Maybe, again, you could be new to the work. You just don't know how to take your training heart rate, or maybe you're on certain medications like beta blockers, or maybe you even have a pacemaker. This could be an excellent tool for you, and I do advise the Green Warriors to please work out at an RPE between 3 and 6. Now, what are we going to do here today with this fall prevention total body workout with weighted exercise balls and supersets? Supersets is when we work 2 different exercises back to back without any rest. Well, I'm going to teach you 10 exercises vertically, without external resistance, but with the use of that fit ball, Pilates ball, that old-fashioned beach ball, whatever you have. I'd like it to be in your hands if it's possible. We're going to do 1 set, which is a group of 8 to 15 repetitions, simply 1 time through. Then when we're finished with that vertical approach, that's when we move into the weighted exercise balls, and we will then go ahead with the supersetting. So we're going to begin here, Amy. Are you ready?
Yes, we are ready.
Excellent. Very good. So my first block are sumo squats with a standing incline chest press. Now, sumo, think about a sumo wrestler. So we have the legs wide apart. So we're bringing the toes slightly turned out. It's not a big ballet turn out, all right? Now, I do want to talk about 2 issues here. If you have osteoporosis of the hips, or you've had a hip replacement, you may have been advised not to bring your legs wide apart. So then don't. You do this more as a basic squat. Is that Zeus?
Yes, it is. Oh my goodness.
Hi, Zeus. Zeus wants to join in. So now with the ball, I'm either going to hold it down here. Now listen, I do allow myself if I want to bring it here or here. It's up to you folks, okay? So here we go. Inhale, I sit back into a chair. Exhale, come up. Pelvic tuck, squeeze at the top. So inhale, sit back. Exhale up. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an angle here so you can see what I mean by the pelvic tuck squeeze. Engage the glutes, engage the quadricep muscles. We keep the head and chest up. Breath is in and out through the nose. You're tracking the knees over the 2nd to 3rd toe. And you want to pause at the peak of the contraction right here. Now, the next exercise is a standing incline chest press. I'm going to lean back, hold the ball in front of the chest, exhale, push. So I'm leaning back to give you the sense of an incline bench. Now, for some of you, if you can't do the standing, you can come on your back. That's okay. And push. So we're working the pectoral muscles of the chest, the front deltoid muscles of the shoulders, even those pesky triceps. We want you to be able to push open a really heavy door, push that heavy grocery cart. Last one, pause and release. First block down, second block. We have the bent knee heel raises with a bent over bilateral back row, meaning bilateral both sides at the same time. So bent knee heel raise, we come up. Now we're primarily working a muscle called the gastrocnemius. There are 3 calf muscles, including plantaris and soleus. When the knees are straight, which a lot of people are used to doing, that's soleus. Nothing wrong with that, but I want to throw in the gastrocnemius for you. 2 more, exhale up, 1 more, and lower down. Now, the bent over bilateral back row, well, that could be a contraindication for those of you with the spine flexion issues. So I'm going to show you a couple of repetitions, a way that you folks can do this, and then I'll do the bent over. So I'm going to hold the ball out in front, and it's the opposite of the chest press. We pull, inhale, exhale, pull. Now I'm going to bend over, and there we go. So what we want to do is bring those shoulder blades up and in toward each other. And notice I'm not dangling my head down. 1 more, pull and release. Slowly come up. For the 3rd block, oh Lord, we have my very least favorite squat. I'm just putting it out there, okay? But I do it. All right, just want to be honest with you. It's called the zombie squat, and we'll be doing this, what I call a ball swing. So the ball swing comes from the kettlebell swing, one of those real dynamic movements I was talking to you about. So for the zombie squat, well, we're going to stand here in the athletic ready stance. The arms are out in front. They stay there. They don't move. They don't go up and down, folks. Toes are lifted inside the shoes. And I'm going to sit back into a chair. Inhale, exhale, up, pelvic tuck, squeeze. So this exponentially increases your effort by holding the arms up. And then when you hold something of weight out in front, wow, it's a lot of core, which includes the abdominals, the back erectors, the quadriceps, the gluteals, the hip adductor muscles of the inner thighs, and your pelvic floor muscles. The list goes on and on. It's all involved. 1 more. And exhale, hold. Then we do this with the ball swing. So I'm going to face you for this. When you have a kettlebell or a weighted exercise ball, you actually want to have that out in front of you a bit, all right? Of course, this thing's going to roll. Okay. So that's how you approach it first. It's out here. Then I bring it through the legs, and then I come up. And when you come up, you rise up vertically. You're doing the pelvic tuck squeeze at the top. And you're going to pause at the peak just for a moment. It's so brief. It's just enough so that you can squeeze the buttocks. 1 more. And when it's weighted, you would walk toward it to slowly roll up with it. Then we have, for the next block, which is the 4th block, we have the front narrow stance squat. Now you know about your contraindications for this already. And the tricep overhead press. This is where I must remind those of you with golfer's tennis elbow, be very careful of this next one. You need to find out if it's appropriate for you. So for the front narrow stance, let's change direction here. Feet, knees together, except for valgus knee, right? And I'm going to sit back and exhale, pelvic tuck squeeze. So my chin is actually probably going to be resting on the ball because it's a reminder to keep the head up and not to drop the head down. I like to lift the toes inside the shoes because it allows me to drive up through my heels, engaging the entire posterior extensor chain of the body, the back erectors, the gluteals, and the hamstrings. 1 more. Inhale, exhale, up. We do this with a tricep overhead press. It's also known as a overhead extension. So I'm going to bend the knees a bit, lift the arms up, bend the elbows, and then up you go. Now, a lot of this, when I actually have the weighted exercise balls in my hands, I'm going to have to face the camera, folks, because it's really challenging. And I need to see what I'm doing as well. We want to make sure we take it all the way up. One more. And easy lowering the ball down. For the final block, we have Romanian deadlifts. And we're doing this with what I call a bicep scoop. I have no idea what to call it, Amy, so I named it that. It is what it is. RDLs, baby, that's right. So now with the Romanian deadlift, I'm going to make this a little more dynamic, all right? So I'm going to stand with my feet slightly wider than the hips. The ball is just hanging down as it would be if you had weights in your hands. They would be in front of your thighs. So I'm going to hip hinge, let the ball touch the floor, and then lift it back up. So I want that moment of release and then pick up. Now, if you cannot do it that way, you don't need to, right? That's okay. I'm just showing you the optimum in case you are able to do it and want to try it. And all of these 8 out of 10 exercise compound movements, the only 2 isolation was the tricep overhead press and then coming up to the bicep scoop. Last one, hold here. Now, with the bicep scoop, I'm going to face the side here. I want the elbows bent at 90 degrees. That's your start and stop position. So I lift up, pause. The elbows are really still at 90. If I would have come here, right? And I'm not out here. I'm not in here, folks. So it's here and down. Now, I do like to bring the elbows just a hint higher than the top of my shoulders. And exhale, pause. And of course, this is an isometric contraction. Again, golfer's tennis elbow, be careful. Now, why am I loving working with the exercise weighted balls? Because they strengthen the fingers, hands, wrists, and forearms. You know that the wrists are osteoporotic sites. So it's a great way to challenge all of that and to help build your grip strength. One more. Exhale, inhale to lower. So I'm going to put this one to bed. Just take a couple of shoulder rolls, everybody. Now, what you can do between the blocks would be you could flap your wrists. Now, for carpal tunnel syndrome, I need you to avoid wrist extension, which is this. So I just saw myself flapping, and it is putting me into wrist extension. You wouldn't flap. So it doesn't matter where your arms are, right? You want to make sure carpal tunnel has a straight wrist. So now let's move into the superset portion, Amy. I'm going to work with sumo squats and an incline chest press. So with the sumo squats, I have a 20-pound ball. I'm going to bring it up here first. I might decide to lower it as well. Inhale, sit back. Exhale, up, pelvic tuck squeeze. Knees over the second to third toes. I get very quiet when I'm working. One more. And carefully set it down. Make sure it doesn't fall off the surface. Grabbing a 15-pound ball for the incline chest press. I find this very challenging. Okay. Now, your elbows will be slightly soft here, folks. Two more. And carefully lower back to the sumo squat with the 20-pound ball. So I'm going to try it with the ball hanging. Again, I reserve the right to change my mind. Two more. and turn the feet in. Up you go, grabbing the incline, the ball for the incline chest press. You can see that the hands are in a wrist extension. So carpal tunnel, you can try it with the wrist weights and the unweighted fit ball so that your wrists can stay straight. Two more, hoo la la. Easy coming down. All right, so in between the blocks, flap out the wrists. Shake them out. Flick your fingers. The other stretch you can do is dangling the hand out in front. Make sure the wrist is lower than the shoulder, pressing both hands into each other. This is going to allow you to stretch the wrist extensors. Now, for carpal tunnel, stretching the wrist extensors is very important. We don't want to turn the hand over to this position because we've got plenty of that in the workout. And then we're going to take it on the other side. So when you hold your stretches, you can hold them for a good solid 20 seconds. All right, now moving into the next block, we have the bent knee heel raises with the bent over bilateral back row. Those of you who want to stay upright, you stay upright. So here we go. Double checking my toes are in the same line as each other, and up, up. Belly button in. One more, and down. Now, bent over, bilateral back row. You could play with this, folks. You want to get dynamic? We can get dynamic. So it's down on the floor, and you pull toward the chest. Slight posterior pelvic tilt. Touch the floor if you want and pick it up. So you could play with it, right? You can do it both ways. I'm going to go one more here. Easy coming up and going right into the heel raises with bent knees. Two more. And back down. So I exaggerate here just so that you can see I am releasing it. One more. And up. All right. Now, the next round. Oh my gosh, I think I know what it is. Zombie squat. Okay. And we're going to do this with our ball swing. So for the zombie squat, okay, got to wrap my head around this. It's only 8 pounds, but it's just, for me, really challenging. Ball out in front, toes lifted, sit back into a chair, exhale up. You can play with your width of your legs if you want. Two more. Bring it toward you before you place it down. Now 4, what did I say I'm doing? Ball swing, yeah, okay. So I'm using a 12-pound ball today. And I'd like you to bring your ball of weight out in front of you. Then you draw it through the legs and up you go. One more. Place it down. I'm going to roll her off for the moment to get out of my way. I don't want it to be too cluttered. Again, back to zombie squat. Yeah, I'm breathless. It's going to happen. Compound movements will do it to you. Whew. One more. Oh, man. Toward me to lower. Back to that ball swing. So we have her out in front, right? Then through the legs and up we go. Now, if I didn't have a downstairs neighbor, I would try popping the ball up to catch it as well. But I do live in an apartment. One more. Bring it down, out in front, walk toward it, and then I can put it away. Okay. Now we have the front narrow stance squat. Whew. Definitely the rate of breathlessness with the tricep overhead press. So 20 pounds, the front narrow stance. And feet are together. Thank you, Amy. Thanks so much. Toes up. So yes, my chin is on the ball. Last one. And easy on the down phase. And we're doing this with the tricep overhead press, right? I had just recently leveled this up, Amy, to 12 pounds. I had been using 10 pounders for a while. Now, I got to really remind myself all the way up, Angela. Now, don't hit your head as you lower. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Oh, boy. One more. Back down, front narrow stance. So we want that chin lifted just a little bit so that the cervical spine of the neck is in the same position as the lumbar spine at that low back. They both have a natural lordotic curve. One more. Back to the 12-pounder for that tricep overhead press, overhead extension. My glasses are falling. Okay, let me see if I can't give you an angle here. So it's behind the head, up, reach the ceiling. Reach the ceiling, Angela, come on. Ooh la la. One more. Let's do a couple of movements before our final round. The final block, I should say. Flap, except for carpal tunnel. You do the shake. Flick. Let's do a brief stretch here for the wrist extensors. And now for the final block, we have the RDLs. We're going to choose to do them dynamically today. At least I am, okay? And I'm going to face you. And I'm going to lift up, pelvic tuck squeeze, down, release, up. You don't want to release, it's going to look like this. That's the last one. Take it up. And we're doing this with the bicep scoop, which is 12 pounds. Okay, now. So there's a lot of work here, not only on the biceps, but your deltoid muscle, particularly the anterior deltoid, the front shoulder. Your forearm muscles are working like crazy. The wrist, hands, even some of the pectoral muscles of the chest. Woo, woo, woo. That's it for me. And last round here, the last set of each. Yes, I am sweating. Okay, let's turn it a bit on an angle for you, like so. And I'm going to begin from the floor here. And now, what do these kind of movements also help with, including that ball swing? Well, they work on enhancing our reflex reaction time. Very, very important for fall prevention as well, folks. And in case you're thinking, I'm just too old for this. I just turned 67 4 days ago, so I don't want to hear about it. I'm only playing with you when I say that. Last one, and I'm going to take her up. And let's go over to that bicep scoop. And then we'll do a bit of a cool down for you. So it's going to come up and down. Exhale, up and down. Second, I feel that hand sliding a little, and up and down. Yep, I am sweating, and I welcome it. Very detoxifying. One more, and slowly down. So now for a much needed cool down, let's take some nice big shoulder rolls. Amy was ready with that, the cool down sign. Thank you, Amy. And now we're going to push the walls away from us. Carpal tunnel. You're going to do this with straight wrists, not with extended wrists. Then from here, inhale, turn the thumbs down. Exhale, what I want to see are palms together, wrists right up against each other, and shoulder blades retracted. Now, for some of you, you might be doing this, splitting the hands apart, forward head posture, thinking you're going really far back. So what I'm going to show you here is, did I put it away? No, I have it. I'm going to take out my yoga strap. And what you can do with your yoga strap is put it behind you. For those of you who really are very tight, up through here in the chest, front shoulders, it's the anterior deltoid and the pectorals, okay? So you hold that strap taut, and the hands are a bit wider than the shoulders. You want to think you're just kind of dragging the knuckles along the floor. Allow the shoulders to roll back and open. And you can simply hold here. And this is a gorgeous stretch to open all of that up. Now, just a little bit more here for us. I'd like you to stand with your feet. I'm going to come a little closer, a little bit wider than the hips. I'm going to do a lateral flexion, which is a side bend. Slide the right hand down, trying to reach the outer right heel. Do not do this, especially if you have the postural deviation of scoliosis. Reel that back in, folks. So we reach down. Left hand comes to the waist, roll the shoulder back. Now, you might want to stay here if you are medicated or not for hypertension and you've been told not to lift the arms up and overhead, or if you have rotator cuff issues or pinched nerve at the neck. Otherwise, we can bring the arm up and over. So I'm reaching down to reach up Ooh, this is beautiful stretch here, that whole lateral side of the body. Inhale, turn that palm up, grab a hook. Exhale, push down into the outer left heel. We're going to slide down, hand to waist or up and over. Come back up. Now I'm going to place my hands on the sacrum, the flat triangular plate at the low back. Be careful, I'm in a wrist extension carpal tunnel. So you folks bring your hands below the butt so that your wrists are straight. And from here, I'm going to bend the knees, and I'm thinking I'm sliding the sacrum down toward my heels. Does it slide? No, but it's just the thought. Now, TIA stroke. Keep your head here, please. The rest of you, if you enjoy dropping your head back, go for it. But if you have an arthritic neck, I would keep your head here as well. Oh, feels so good. You can do it with straight knees. Inhale, lift the head. Exhale, come back to center. Nice big shoulder rolls. And that's what we've got for you today, Amy, here at Be Green with Amy.
Oh, how lovely. Oh, thank you so much. Everybody send a heart or click like for Angela. You always put in so much effort and thought behind everything that you do, and we surely appreciate it.
Thank you.
I was noticing how a lot of the exercises, it almost kind of gives some challenge to the feet staying stable, like those muscles that keep the feet flat on the ground and stable. You know, it kind of
And
gives,
this stuff out in front, whenever you
yeah.
take it out in front, weighted, it's like, oh, and that's partly why I do a lot of the stuff out in front, because I need you to get the idea of, I got to get my weight back. I have to get my weight back. Same thing when people wear a weighted exercise vest. You know that I do this when I do my fitness walks, right? And my vest is 12.5 pounds. But with a weighted vest, you want more weight on the back, just a little bit more weight on the back. And for me, it's just a 0.5 pound. I have 2 quarter-pound weights on the back just to make that 12.5, just to have, okay, I'm distributed back here. Because of the whole thing of you can go just fall flat with a weighted vest on if you trip or something. So with the exercise balls, you're not going to fall flat. You're not going to fall down or anything like that. But I want you to have the sense of, I have to resist. I have to resist going forward. So what will also happen is the toes are meant to grip to help your balance. So you'll feel it. You'll feel it inside your shoes. You know, just for the moment, I had this image of the Wicked Witch of the West when the house landed on her, and and then they threw one of the Wicked Witches, and the toes all curled up and the feet curled up and retracted when she took the ruby slippers. It's the same concept. Your toes are gripping for balance, and it's why in yoga, I don't tell people relax your toes. It's not natural.
Yeah.
The natural function of the toes is to grip the floor for balance. So I'm like, go ahead, grip ahead, because I don't want to unteach that. You know? So yeah, this is a great workout to test that concept. But you don't have to be frightened, because you don't have to use the weight. Just holding your arms out, you can do that wonderful zombie squat that I just love so much.
Yeah, and you're so fit, and it's so inspiring to see all that you do. I remember hearing somebody talking about balance and keep and fall prevention, and one of the things that they were talking about was how most of the time we walk forward,
right?
and we don't spend a lot of time walking sideways or backwards.
Doing lateral, right?
Yeah.
Lateral movement. Yep.
we just don't spend a lot of time doing that. And then typically, and when we fall, it's that our body hasn't been trained enough to take on those kinds of positions that we might wind up in if we're about to fall. So
Yeah.
if we're about to go on off to the side or backwards, you know. So it's nice to, with your workout, you're developing that strength
Yeah. Yeah,
in
definitely.
all those muscles that control these things.
So you're giving me an idea.
Okay.
You're sparking a little bit of something I can demonstrate here. I don't have the 10-pound ball out. No, I'm going to grab the 8-pound ball. But if you want to test your lateral movement, you want to do it with a ball, all right? I haven't done this yet. So we're just going to play now. So you can do a lateral lunge like so. So you can go from side to side. Now, the other thing you can do is pop it. So I'm not landing. See that? I'm not touching. So I'm making it a little bit more dynamic. And of course, then you would take it to the other side. Now, could we do it here? No, here, because this is where I would be with the weight. But you can test the lateral movement this way. Another way to work with lateral movement, if you're a rebounder working on a mini trampoline, you can do a lot of lateral movement on that. And step it close. So that's an option too, Amy.
Yeah, I love that, because typically if we would fall sideways, you're almost, when you were demonstrating it, you were almost like in kind of a sideway fall, and then you were pushing off
That's right. The
to
standing leg.
recover. Yeah. And that's basically, if we fell sideways, we would have to have our muscles and brain trained that if you get in that direction, you need to push off and get back
Right.
up. And that's a great one that you just came up with.
Well, it's, I'm very limited in my vision of life. I see everything through exercise movements. I see everything that way. It's just the fabric of which I'm made. Okay.
Mm.
And with the lateral lunge, what was I going to say with that? So you could practice it without holding a thing, right? You can practice it with a fit ball as well. And you can stop. You don't have to do this where you're not really landing that standing leg. I mean, the working side. But what I did want to point out here for you is this is actually hip abduction, going away from the midline of the body into hip adduction, which is going toward the midline of the body. Be careful though, those of you with osteoporosis of the hip replacement, I don't know, this may or may not be appropriate for you depending upon where you are in your recovery process. So that is a question for your medical doctor.
Right. So would that, after mastering what you just showed, would you be able to go up to another level, maybe like skaters or something? Would that be appropriate?
Well, that's more done for endurance.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So what I would do to level up is I'm just going to keep bringing up the weight.
Yeah.
And change the equipment. So I do that exercise with dumbbells. I do that exercise with kettlebells. Thanks to you, I will now be doing that exercise with the ball.
Well, thanks to you.
That was a great thought.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, I mean, these exercises that you demonstrate, these are things that even if somebody did 1 or 2 reps, right? They don't have to do as many reps as you're doing,
It
right?
depends upon
Yeah.
what is the desired intent. Okay. To understand, I already gave the minimum of 8. However, some people can't start with 8.
Yes.
It's okay to do that. But I have to, it's my job to give you the information and the current information. Oh, I have a little bit more information about something else off topic, but it's going to be a little bit of what we spoke about before with a weighted exercise vest.
Okay, and I'm really glad that you told us about the vest, because so often people want to utilize that, and they're not usually getting instructions or proper instructions on how to use it. I think that I remembered from one broadcast that you said something about not exceeding 10%
Percent,
of
right?
your body weight, right?
Per Harvard Health.
Yeah,
That's from
yeah,
Harvard Health. Now, do people exceed it? People
mm,
exceed it all the time, and it depends
yeah,
upon the type of sport and the modality. But listen, we were doing something regarding osteoporosis. It would
yeah.
be absolutely contraindicated to even begin with a 10% of your body weight. You know how I like people to begin with? Nothing. I want them to
Mhm.
wear it because I'm going to tell you something, folks. This is not like, big, great designers. This stuff is made out of crap. It's basic
Yeah.
garbage fabric. It's
Mm,
hot. It doesn't breathe. I want you to wear it without anything in it and get a sense of what it's like. And if you live where Amy and I do, we're down in Florida, it's like, let me tell you, it's hot in that thing. And then when I have 12 and a half pounds pressing up against me, you can
yeah,
wring out my clothing when I come home, right?
yeah.
Now, I like over the head or zippered weighted vests, one or the other. I don't like these vests that, like, they have a buckle that goes across here. It buckles up here above the breast tissue. Now, I have to say something. I genuinely believe that those vests are not designed for the female body
Uh,
unless somebody is ultra petite.
yeah.
Ultra, all right? This is a male physique we're talking about. I went to put, and I'm not like carrying a lot up in my chest area, okay? And when I went to put it, I'm like, what is this? This is not for a female body. So
Mm,
over the head or zip up, but
okay.
not this crisscross thing. The other thing we have to mention about weighted vests, please don't buy those that are preset in weight. Buy the adjustable
Right.
kind, because you buy the preset, you will never be able to wash it and they get skanky.
Ah,
They just do. So you want to take those weights out and definitely on delicate wash your vest and you'll get a nice shelf life. But speaking of the vests, and I have to get more information. So there is a foundation called FAI, Functional. I forgot what it means because it's pretty new to me. However, the instructor, one of the instructors, is not new to me. And so I attended one of his workshops. I've been attending his workshops for 30 years. Okay. Since he used to come up to Brooklyn and I would see him there. And then down in, I would travel to Fort Lauderdale from South Beach to go to his live events. And now I am in the Fort Lauderdale area,
yeah.
but I attended his virtual event.
Oh,
And he owns a company called Exercise Etc. And they are providers of continuing education for certified personal trainers, group fitness
yeah.
instructors, etc. So I took one of his rucking webinars. I attended one
Ooh,
of his rucking, and rucking is when you're wearing kind of like a weighted vest, but it's not. It's a solid piece of steel
oh my
inserted in a
goodness.
pocket. So it goes on the back only. All right. I got way more I have to learn about this, but I'm edging in that direction.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what did he say? I just went off. Okay, yes. So he was talking about the weighted exercises vests, and he's saying now science is showing that they're not doing as much as they thought for
Oh.
bone strength.
Mm,
Okay, so that's why if people are looking to only use a weighted vest, you're not going to do yourself the best of service. It's all about lifting weights and resistance. But the resistance can also come from the bands, the tubes, etc., the exercise balls,
yeah.
kettlebells, all of that, or your own body resistance, let's say with push-ups, pull-ups, etc.
Yeah.
But it is still excellent
Mhm.
4, those weighted vests are still excellent for your posture.
Ah.
Right. So
Especially if you do it as
you
you
don't want
suggest,
you don't
like
want walking around like this with a
right,
weighted vest on
right.
you, right? You're not going to do that. It's going to be that big reminder. Get up.
Especially if you do it as you suggest by putting a little extra weight on the back,
Yeah.
which gives you that forces you to stand up a little bit more
And just
upright.
because he was starting to quote the newest, and that's why I go to certain people, because I'm going to them for the most current science.
Mhm.
It's
That's
not
right.
going to stop me from wearing my vest when I'm outside,
Yeah.
right? Because it requires effort.
Mhm.
It's simply harder to walk
Yeah.
like this. And okay, I'm all about challenge myself in some way. I'm not crazy about how I self-challenge, but I always challenge by way of see how much I can add regarding weight.
Yeah.
That means it's a little more effort. And if it's a quarter pound, I'm okay with that.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. I have a couple of questions that
Yeah,
came in, so
go
I
for it.
wanted to ask those.
Thanks.
And Eric wanted to know, how often should I do this type of workout to see results in balance and strength?
That's a great question. Okay, a minimum of 3 times a week, Erin. And not to do these exercises on consecutive days, please. Every
Mm,
other day you want to do it, go for it. You want to vary up your exercises, go for it. You want to vary up your equipment, go for it. Because I'm going to tell you now, if you have a dumbbell out in front of you, 8 pounds, doing a zombie squat, you're going to feel it. Okay. It's just a matter of the body is adjusting to holding a piece of equipment. It's different. The brain has to adjust to the difference in it. When you work with a weighted exercise ball, Erin, versus, let's say, holding a weight, well, in the ball, let me see if, I don't know if not, you're not going to hear it, but in the ball, there's going to be some, typically like some sand or maybe little tiny like iron pellets, really tiny, ground down. And you're going to feel them like rolling around in the ball as you're exercising. And that's actually great because you have to think on your feet just a little bit more, because the body will say, yeah, I'm used to that 8-pound weight, although it's an effort for sure for me. But it doesn't have that little element of like, when is the sand going to start moving around, right? It just keeps you aware, keeps you on your toes.
yeah, and which also, because it's, I guess because it's kind of fluid,
Right.
right? As you're moving it around, you have to keep regaining your balance, right? Is that what
Yep.
you're trying to say? Yeah,
Yep.
you have to keep regaining your balance. So if somebody was just starting out, what do you think that they wanted to get that equipment, which weight, uh, amount of weight would you suggest? Different kinds of
Okay,
weights
I
or
can never suggest a weight to someone because I
mm,
don't know where they're at. I
yeah,
will always say begin with a fit ball or a 9-inch Pilates ball or your beach ball
right.
stuck in your garage somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, begin here. Always begin and review the work without any resistance. And then you start to add on. So I will tell you, I own 5, 8, 10, 12, 15, and 20-pound weighted exercise balls. And
Oh,
for when I want more, okay, that's when I'm going to tack on my wrist weights. However, if I want to, I could buy heavier weighted exercise balls.
yeah.
At some point, I don't want to max my apartment out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I do want to get a rack for the weighted exercise ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that
That
would
I
be
do want
great.
to get. Yeah.
I some people like to go to the gym, and for me, I really think it's nice if you have the space to have some of these things at home, because it's
Absolutely.
so easy to not have enough time to get to the gym. Oh, I meant to go there, but then things got busy. And even if it's only 10 minutes away, you still have to get there and get back. And so, while I think there is merit for gym memberships, it's nice just to have even a few pieces of equipment at home,
That's right.
because don't you think, Angela, that it's nice to have a workout, but maybe throughout the day, just do a couple of reps here and a couple of reps here, there
Yeah,
of
if that's
different.
how you need to do it, that's okay.
Hmm.
Doesn't have to be an all one lump sum, right?
Yeah.
Now, it is suggested from the American Heart Association that if you want to really work at cardiorespiratory fitness, that you do want to do a minimum of a 20-minute
Mm.
workout,
Yeah.
right? Preferably, they do say preferably 30, so that you can get in 150, 150 minutes per week of cardio.
Yeah.
Technically, according to the American College of Sports Medicine, they talk about, and that's who all the plant-based doctors quote.
Yeah.
For strength training, they want 2 sessions a week, 20 minutes each. I'm going to tell you, if you're dealing with any kind of disease processes, that's not enough. It's
Yeah.
not enough.
Right.
Okay. So that's when you need to have that conversation with your medical doctor or your fitness practitioner to give you advice. But if you deal with a fitness person, that person, you want to make sure that they consult with your medical team. If they're not willing to do it, call me. I'll work with you, because that's how I work. I do not have you do a thing unless I get the approval of your medical team. Then we can have a blast.
Yeah, and then you can work with people virtually so
Yes,
that you can look at their form and make sure
absolutely.
that they're, because you can work all you want, but if you don't have proper form, you can be either harming yourself or not optimizing your results.
Yeah. I mean,
And
I
you,
have clients, Amy, literally, I have a husband and wife. We're on our 23rd year, and the last 5 years of it have been all virtual. I
mhm,
know I moved. I don't live there any longer,
yeah,
and we've just continued on. I had a client in Brooklyn for 11 years. She came to the gym to work out with me, and at the pandemic, she resumed work with me.
mhm,
From that, we hadn't worked together since 2001. And in 2020, we resumed the work. And that work has obviously changed because she's at a different era in her life. So
yes,
am I, right?
mhm,
So
mm,
but it's absolutely doable virtually. That's just according to the people, what you're trying to do for yourselves and what you want to achieve. But I'm just saying, for somebody who goes to a local gym and you're going to work and you want that advice,
yeah,
you have, and you hire somebody, they must be in contact with your medical team. Notice
mhm,
I say team, because
mhm,
today's day and age, a lot of people have more than
yeah,
one chronic health condition.
that's very true. Well, Green Warrior, please click like or heart to show your
Ah,
appreciation for what Angela shared with us today. And Angela, tell us more. I mean, we're just starting to talk about it, but just tell us about what you do and how we can find you.
well, thank you. I appreciate it, Amy. So they can always feel free to contact me by way of the contact form on my website, which is boomerandbeyondwellness.com. And I'll repeat it, boomerandbeyondwellness.com. And there's a contact form right there. But also, my work can be seen on the Foodie Bar Way of Life, which is basically a plant-based platform that encourages you how to transition from the standard American diet to whole food plant-based. And this is run and owned by Timmery Hagenberger. She's an incredible RDN, registered dietitian nutritionist, strictly plant-based in her work. She also teaches for the state of Florida, by the way, works in public health for us. And she's also an exercise physiologist. So I am a provider of strength training videos to her platform. We also have quarterly live Q&As with me on anything exercise. And then also I, once a month, teach a live Zoom strength training class for another plant-based platform called Feel Fabulous Over 40. And folks, if you are in the Fort Lauderdale area, and more specifically, if you're near Lauderdale Lakes, Amy, I have a new on-site teaching gig. And
Oh,
yeah, just the
yay.
other day. Thank you. So it's with St. Joseph's, and at St. Joseph's, it is a residence, and it is from well, it's actually from independent living on up with the different levels. And I will be teaching. I begin on May 7th. I will be teaching a fusion class of chair exercise and chair yoga for seniors. And you can come and see me there if you would like. But if you have loved ones who are in need of a facility, this is an excellent place. And it is actually owned and operated by Catholic Health Services. And from what I'm being told by the various employees there, Amy, they say they treat both their residents and their employees very respectfully. And I had a blast when I was there. I had a really great time getting to know them and everything. So we will be beginning that, and I'm really excited about that. And what else? I have a YouTube channel. So come on over. All of the, it's all there. I don't hide anything from you. We have the full length workouts. We have the full length yoga classes, but I also have a whole section called Have It Your Way Workout Series, where I teach you one exercise at a time. And it's especially designed for those of you with chronic health concerns, that you can design your own workout, because you know your body best. You know what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. And I'll teach one exercise, typically 3 or 4 ways. Sometimes I'll go a little crazy, 5, 6 ways, but it's to show you the different levels. No matter where you're at, it's truly meant for multiple levels, my platform.
Lovely, lovely. Everything is just so well thought out, and with a lot of experience and knowledge and training, and most of all, we can tell that it just comes from the heart, because you just want to always give the very best to anybody that's participating in any of the classes that you do, and it shows, and we really appreciate that. We appreciate you for being here, and I really want to thank you, Angela, for sharing your strength and your guidance to help us all move with more confidence and stability, right?
Yes. Yes. Thank you for that.
So, Angela, what's your final take home message for our Green Warriors?
Have faith in yourselves. No matter where you're at, just have faith. And all I can ask you to do is to try, but not to try reluctantly, to try with your eyes open and allow take in the information. And one exercise at a time, you can begin that process of regaining a sense of self-control over your body. I'm here to tell you, I know what it's like. I've been through it. I understand, right? I used to have osteoporosis, don't have it anymore. I used to have subclinical hypothyroid, don't have it anymore. You don't get rid of these diagnoses without effort. It takes effort. It's up to you to decide. But also be careful of the many voices that will frighten you into believing that you are a fragile waif. You are not. You are a human being. You have a great deal of spirit, a great deal of inner courage. Don't let anybody else's opinion change that for you. But you can create self-confidence through moving your body. Even if you are completely disconnected with it, I want nothing to do with my body. You pick up that fit ball and you just start playing with this thing and just moving with it. And over time, you'll begin to create that process of mindfulness while you're moving, and it will pay off. I promise you, it will pay off. Be patient, patient with yourself, patient with others too, and come to Be Green with Amy. Keep watching Amy's broadcasts, because she broadcasts her videos about every possible subject falling under the category of wellness and health. It's all here for you. Create a community. A lot of us have nobody around us who live this way. By living, breathing, eating, diet, and lifestyle choices for our health instead of pills and procedures. I'm not saying they don't have their place, but there's a whole world of information out there. Avail yourself to it. And Amy and I are here to help you.
Oh, yes, and that's what you need. Just surround yourself with like-minded people who are giving this message, and it
That's
makes
right.
it so much easier to do. And Green Warrior, tell us what you're going to remember from today's class and from all the things that we talked about. I love when you type that in the comments so that people who are looking around at the comments, they can see, oh, look at that. They were talking about this. That's so interesting. Or maybe having a conversation with each other in the comments. That's always fun to watch that too, because we are trying to build a community of Green Warriors here. I also wanted to thank Just Task Voice. She did the countdown. She did the promo. She is my guiding light. I don't know what I would do without all the help that she gives me in getting the message out for this channel. And Just Task Voice, I'm so excited about this one. Tell us who's coming up next.
Do you struggle to stay on track because of a busy schedule? Have you ever wondered how to make healthy eating easier with the right tools and a solid plan? Amy's hubby Rick will show you how he does it. Wednesday, April 23rd, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, on Be Green with Amy Live.
Yay, Rick!
He's going to one day have his own show, because I tell you, he's pretty popular.
I bet he is. I bet he is.
Yeah.
And he cooks great stuff. Every time he's on, I'm like, oh man, I want that.
Yeah, he really does. So it's going to be fun to see, get a peek into what he does in the kitchen for us every day. Well, he doesn't cook every day, but every time he does do something in the kitchen, these are the things that he's going to share with you, and also those little gadgets that make life a little bit easier to do what we do. And because I'm always on the lookout for, I love gadgets
I
that
know
are
you
helpful.
do.
And so I love that. So I figured, well, let's do that too, and let's show everybody what we're doing. But
Yeah,
most
great.
of all, I really want to thank you, Green Warrior, for joining us today, because your engagement and your support, they just really make these discussions and these workouts meaningful and impactful. And I really hope that you're feeling inspired to take a closer look at your food choices and your movement and exercise choices, and really make some positive changes for your health and your well-being, because every bite we take and every move we make it's an opportunity to nourish our bodies from the inside and the outside, and like Angela, become the healthiest versions of ourselves. And please stay tuned for more empowering content, and please subscribe to my channel. Check out Angela's social media as well, and share our message with others who you think can benefit, because together as Green Warriors, we can make a meaningful difference in the world. And as a special thank you to you, Green Warriors, I am offering you 5 free recipes. And if you just go to my website, begreenwithamy.com/join, you just follow the simple instructions, and I will be happy to send you 5 free recipes, and you'll get them just one at a time, and it'll really be something that these are recipes that my hubby Rick has developed, and that we enjoy. So I hope that you take advantage of that. And now, of course, my favorite time is I would like to invite all of you to take your right hand and grab your left shoulder, and take your left hand and grab your right shoulder and squeeze, because that's a hug from me to you. That's a hug from me to you, Angela.
And from me to you, Amy.
Oh. And please type in the comments my tagline, because I'm going to be saying it with Angela today, but you can join us by typing it in. Are you ready, Angela?
Yes.
Okay. Until I see all of you again, remember, be strong, be well, and be green.
Green! Thank you, Amy and Green Warriors.
Thank you. Hope to see you guys real soon. Take care now.
Now you can get 5 free whole food plant-based SOS-free recipes from Be Green with Amy. Just click on the link in the show notes and Amy will send you 5 free recipes, motivational quotes, and more so you can be strong, be well, and be green.